Hey guys, I am Calza, and today we have the What I Love About Winston. Now, Winston is a tank hero. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. Winston is a tank hero, so this means, first of all, your counter is Reaper or other high DPS, dealers like that. So, what do I love about Winston? Well, let's go over his abilities like usual. So, he has his Tesla Cannon, which is on his R2, his Primal Rage, which is his triangle, he has his Jump Pack on R1, and he has his Barrier Projector on R1. So, the thing with Winston is, a lot of people play Winston very passively. You have to be aggressive with a Winston. You want to be diving onto the enemy. You want to be harassing him. You want to make you the main target of your team. So what you do with Winston is you want to dive onto, the group of enemies that you're going against, or, onto a point, but your team has to follow. If your team doesn't follow you in, you are going to be taken out, because Winston does do good damage, but you're not going to be taking out, other Winstons, Reinhardts, Roadhogs. You're not going to be taking out people like that. You're only really going to be looking for squishes. So Genji, Tracer, you can get Mercies, you can get Symmetras if you put your bubble down and go in and out of that, so they can't do damage to you. There's a lot of things you can do as a Winston that a lot of people don't know. So let me go through it. So, like I said, another thing that I've noticed with Winston is Reinhardts don't realize you can shoot through their shield. So if a Reinhardt just puts his shield up, you can shoot through that. So don't worry about that. You can just pretty much shoot through that, and usually they don't notice. So yeah, as you can see, I dive into the enemies, but I put that shield down now. The shield makes it so I can't take damage, but it doesn't have too much of health. So you're not going to want to sit there for, a long period of time. You're just going to want to dive in, use your weapon, and just dive out. Now, the cool thing about Winston is his actual weapon and the jump, the jump to dive in or dive out, is actually the same cooldown. So as soon as you go in, you want to just, use all of your energy in your Tesla Cannon, and then you want to dive straight back out. You don't want to be in, don't want to engage in fights for too long. You just want to be in and out. That's the way you want to play Winston. Now, another thing is, make sure you're putting your shields in places that are useful. Now, as you can see there, I used that shield when I didn't have to, so now I don't have my shield. That's on a 13-second cooldown. Now, the thing with the cooldowns are, you really want to be using that shield only when you dive in. You don't want to use it in midair, because it's going to land exactly where you press R1, where you trigger it. So you're going to want to land, and then you're going to want to press it, or you're going to want to just about land and then press it. That way you're not going to actually drop it halfway through your jump and not be, it's not going to be there for when you land. So you want to be making sure you're diving onto your enemies, because this is how you're going to be doing damage. You do splash damage to all enemies when you dive onto them. So you're going to want to be diving onto the enemies, using your Tesla Cannon, making sure you can just keep that damage up. Now, with his Primal Rage, he does knock people back, and his jump is cooldown. So you can pretty much just dive onto people and knock them off the map if you can. Also, if it's the end of the match, you're going to want to push up to their spawn, and you can just hit them. They won't be able to come through the door. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm just putting down the shield, jumping onto enemies, and just keeping that Tesla up. Now, the thing with Winston is, when you dive onto an enemy, I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but notice how I'm turning around, so I'm facing them when I land. I'm not jumping, landing, and then turning around. I'm jumping and turning around midair. So you don't want to be just jumping and just landing and then turn around, because you want the advantage. You're very offensive as Winston. And the way I mean is, you have to be aggressive. Like, if you're just a Winston that's sitting back and not diving in, you're not going to be doing anything, because Winston is a hero that you jump in, you deal damage, like I said, and you jump straight back out. Now, Winston is the counter to Symmetra. So if you're ever having troubles with Symmetra, there's a lot of Symmetra turrets around. Just jump onto a Winston, you'll be able to take out all those turrets pretty much instantly. So as you can see here, if I'm getting into a fight, I'm constantly making sure I'm dropping that shield and I'm staying within that shield, because unless they come into the shield, like I said, you're not going to really want to push out of the shield, because, like I said, you're going to have the advantage of having a shield. So you're always want to be utilizing that shield to its full advantage. And Farah up here, now you can jump and still do damage as Winston, and Winston's Tesla Cannon is actually pretty good. So it does have pretty good range. And, you know, it's really one of those things where a lot of people say, you know, oh, I don't like Winston, he's not strong. Well, you don't play him like a lot of other heroes. It's dive in, dive out. It's not stay there and, you know, take damage or deal damage. It's very quick and it's in intervals. So you're not going to want to sit there trying to kill someone for a long time. If you're having trouble, you're either going to get your team to help you out, or like I said, you're just going to dive out, because you're not going to be able to do anything as Winston, you know, in a 3v2 situation or a 3v1, anything like that. So you're just going to, like, as you can see, like I'm doing, I'm just diving in, dealing damage, diving back out, getting healed and diving back in again. Making sure I'm turning around mid-air, dropping that shield, making sure I've always got the shield in between me and my enemy, and you just want to be diving behind him like that. Now he's going to turn around, that's going to open up, you know, the whole team fight for my team. He's going to, you know, lose that barrier, and our team's going to be able to push back, and we actually win this point. They pretty much do not push it at all. So, like Winston, like I've been saying, it's very situational to use a Winston. You know, if they've got a Reaper, you're probably going to want to swap unless the Reaper isn't countering you. Now, you can do a lot of stuff with Winston for, you know, holding points. So if there's a point that, you know, is, you know, about to be captured and you want to contest it, you can jump on, contest it, wait for your team to get there, and then jump back out and then jump back in again. That's a thing that I like to do, but you really have to make sure with Winston, you're not diving into a fight you know you're going to lose. You really only want to dive in a fight you know you're going to win. So as you can see here, at the end of the game, 20 player kill streak, I get charged by Reinhardt, and that ends the game there. But yeah, just the basics of Winston is just dive in, dive out, drop that shield, turn around mid-air. Only go for low health heroes. Don't try and engage in, you know, someone like a tank unless you have your team advantage. Like, I've been diving onto Winston's a lot recently just because it's where the team is. Also, if you're playing a control point map, feel free to just dive over onto the enemy, get them to turn around on you, and then you can actually, you know, push through the point. Now, 20 play kill streak ended at the end of the game by Reinhardt. I was like, oh, no, I almost had a perfect clip, but no, I had to die at the end. But yeah, you can do a considerable amount of damage as, you know, Winston. He's very good at getting eliminations. Unless you're getting countered, you really don't need to switch. So just make sure when you're playing Winston, like I've been saying, diving in, diving out, dropping that shield. Only dive in when you know you're going to win the fight. Don't dive in when there's a Reaper or a Hog or a Reinhardt, because you're just going to die. You only really want to dive in, like I said, when you know you're going to win the situation. So I hope this guide has helped you guys. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed it at all, please leave a comment. Please like the video. It helps out a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace.